O.J. Simpson. I guess O.J. is probably the most iconic Bronco thing. I mean, the Raptor with Lost World and Blue, the Raptor and all that. So the Raptor does play there, but I think it's probably more towards O.J. Anyway, the Ford Bronco. Jeep has influenced the Bronco's entire existence. We wouldn't have a Ford Bronco if there wasn't for a Jeep. I mean, I love the Jeep. I love the Bronco. I love them all. Y'all know that. The Bronco came out in 1966. We're going to do a little history lesson before we talk about these new ones. And I promise I won't spend like gobs of time on this, but we do need to have just a small history lesson. 1966, Ford brought out the first generation Bronco. That competed with the CJ5. Okay, civilian Jeep. CJ, civilian Jeep. I think that's right. Ooh, somebody's going to tear me up in the comment if I'm wrong, but I'll learn if I'm wrong. Okay, that went on for the first generation went from 1966 to 1977, 11-year long run. Then in 1977, the Bronco took some Viagra and it got swolled up and it got put on the Ford F-150 platform. Now it was a little short and a little shrunk, but it still was an F-Series pickup because it was an F-100 back then, F-200, F-300, all that. So anyway, second generation. Okay, technically the second generation lasted for 2 years. 3 years, 2 years, 78 and 79. Because in 1980, the third gen came around. They called it the bullnose. That's the bullnose front end of the F-150. That went from 1980 to 86. Inline 6, 4.9. That was around a long time before that, but that became the base engine in the Ford Bronco, in the bullnose was the inline 6. Okay, then fast forward to 87. Now you're in the fourth gen, 87 to 91. Then in 92 came the fifth gen, OJ's generation, and that ran till 96. Okay, real quick, speaking of, in 1996, they got rid of the Ford Bronco supposedly because of waning sales in large two-door SUVs. They got rid of the Bronco to make room for the Exploder. Okay, and let me tell you why I know this for a fact. The second best-selling year of that generation Bronco was the 96. The first best-selling year of that generation was 95. No, big SUVs in the late 90s was all the rage. That's the Tahoe. That's when the Escalade first showed up. I think what was the first year of the Escalade? 97, 98. Anyway, no, large SUVs, big behemoths. That's where all this shit got started, okay, in the late 90s. So, no, I don't agree with that. I think the Bronco went away for the Exploder. But anyway, by the way, they don't differentiate Broncos and Bronco 2s. So that just kind of falls into another generation. Like the sixth generation is technically the Bronco 2. That's up to you. I'll let you decide that. I always kind of put the Bronco 2 and now the Bronco Sport in a different category. But that's up to you. It's still a Bronco. It still has the horse. It's still bucking and all that stuff. Anyway, new generation, 2021. Guess what? Ford got tired of watching the Wrangler make all that money. So once again, out of 25 years of retirement, here she comes back. The first year sold 35,000. That was just a tick better than when it went away in 96. But then it ballooned. Last year it sold 109,000 plus, and that was a bad year. 2024 year was a bad year for the Bronco. Anyway, base model 2.3 liter 4-cylinder EcoBoost engine. Middle engine is a 2.7 liter V6 turbo. Hang on just 1 second. I'm gonna put some throat coat down, wet my whistle. Middle engine is a 2.7 liter twin turbo V6. Everything's turbocharged. Everything's turbocharged. Everything's turbocharged. That is the base F-150 engine. Then you've got the Raptor. The Raptor is a 3-liter twin turbo V6. It's the Exploder ST engine. Speaking of the Exploder, I know that's why the Bronco went away. It ain't got nothing to do with size. Anyway, 418 horsepower in that version and 440 pound-feet of torque in the Bronco Raptor. It's $100,000, or it runs about $100,000. It is epic. It really is. 0 to 60 in like 5.5 seconds. Doesn't tow much. It only tows 4,500 pounds. The Raptor tows 1,000 more than a regular one because it only tows 3,500. But anyway, Hoss suspension. That is an actual thing. HOSS, and that stands for High Performance Off-Road Stability Suspension. Hoss. And then you've got Sasquatch. That's the Ford Bronco. You can have it in 2-door, 4-door, hardtop, soft top, 37-inch mud tars, regular tars. I don't think it comes in 2-wheel drive. It does come in a manual transmission, 7 speeds. The first gear is like a rock crawl gear, so it's 7 real gears, but one is really low, like low.